So into our next showroom. First of all, we have this really interesting 250 long wheelbase rolling chassis. This is a car that was bodied in period by Eleanor, which had its body removed in the 1990s. And many people don't realise that a 250 long wheelbase chassis frame and running gear for a 250 California Spider long wheelbase, or a 250 Tour de France, or a 250 Pininfarina Coupe, or a 250 GT Zagato, underneath the cars are all the same. This is exactly how they would have been when they were built by Ferrari and rolled out to the factory to the different coach builders. So we assembled this back together a few years ago for an exhibition at the Design Museum in London called Ferrari Under the Skin. And quite literally, this helps you see what was under the skin of a late 1950s 250 long wheelbase. And when you compare this chassis frame to other cars of the period, other sports cars of the period, it was an incredibly robust and well-designed chassis frame with a strong, reliable, powerful engine. And that's why Ferrari was so successful in the late 50s, because their cars were technically very strong, very sturdy, and lasted the distance. So this is not for sale, this is just something that we have on display as an exhibition of what's underneath the skin of a 1950s Ferrari. Moving on, we have this Vanquish Speedster by Zagato, a very rare car, only 28 built, this is right-hand drive as well, with very low mileage from new. A 328 GTS, a great entry-level Ferrari for a budding collector. We have a right-hand drive Senna, obviously a track tool for the road, but incredibly sophisticated aero, incredibly aggressive looks, and superb performance. A great, versatile, dual personality car, one for the road or the track. Next up is this right-hand drive 250 GT Lusso. Today, less than 20 remain in existence, and this car was owned by the same family since 1968 until 2023. So an extremely long-term ownership. It's a very original, although it has had a colour change during its life, it's very original, unrestored, and a working car, a car that we've done a major service on, we've been right through, and so it's got incredible patina, it's got real charm, it's got style. The interior is totally original. It's a really cool car, and if you don't want a Concours Queen, that is a car to own, use, and enjoy. On the right-hand side here, we've got a 6-carburetor 275 GTB short nose in right-hand drive, beautifully restored here in the UK by GTO Engineering, with works done on the bodywork and the metalwork in Italy by Brandley. This was done some years ago, done to a very good standard, and a car that's been enjoyed on the concours lawns across the UK in recent years, and on the road, of course, and in a great colour combination of Pinot Verde with this chocolate brown leather interior. Really stunning car. We have this competition Daytona, which is not one of the factory 15 cars. It's a conversion, but it was converted in the early 1980s. Ideal for fast road use or for rallies. It's not an out-and-out, all guns blazing competition spec car. It's a car that can easily be enjoyed on the road and absolutely looks the part. It really is a great thing, and I've driven this car on the road quite a lot, and it is really, really nice. Here we've got a lovely DB5 that was restored about 15 years ago. Classic colour combination of silver birch with red leather interior. The car's recently been fully serviced by Nicholas Mee, so it's ready for the next owner to use and enjoy, and an opportunity to own the iconic DB5 in the iconic colour. In the corner here, not everything we have in the showrooms is for sale, sometimes display only, so these two cars are display only. So we have chassis 31, McLaren F1, very low mileage from new, one of only 2 cars supplied in white, went new to Japan, absolutely as it left the factory condition, having covered limited mileage, always goes back to McLaren for services, and a car that we sold back in 2018 and that lives with us. We're very lucky to be able to show this to people because you don't get to see a McLaren F1 very often. And then sitting next to it is this fantastic right-hand drive 250 GT short wheelbase. Only 11 cars were built in right-hand drive with a steel body. This car is one of the first 2 cars to come to the UK. It's in semi-competition spec, which means it has an aluminium rib case gearbox. It has high lift camshafts, open air tray in the engine bay. It has competition brakes. It has a long range fuel tank, and it also has an outside fuel filler. This is a car that we have had a lot of involvement with over the last 30, 40 years, but especially in the last 5 years, having sold it twice and having totally restored it, which was completed 2 years ago, to this superb standard. The car is absolutely breathtaking and has just recently been awarded its Ferrari Classic A certification just to top the whole process off. So again, we're incredibly lucky to have this car living with us. Now we'll move on to the next showroom.